Alright, so if this video is done correctly, there should be a quote unquote speed paint video going on in the background of one of the creatures I designed. I actually did this one not too long ago as of this recording, and I believe I named him Twisterian or something like that because it's a twister and all that stuff. Yeah, anything. Anyways, uh, so what I have gotten done recently is I've finished all the templates for all the card types. So all the templates for all the card types and the attributes. So all the attributes have all the card type templates. So that way I can now just do the images, upload them into, well, not upload them, they're already in there, but do the images, place them in the template, and then I'll have the card set. And I've already done quite a few of these. I'm trying to think, I think I've done about 9 of them, maybe 10. But I'm getting really close to, sorting it out, figuring out how the thing goes, having stuff to present. Because right now doing a I'm doing a little bit of research on mythology and creature designs and stuff like that. Because I want to make sure that these look halfway decent. I I am admittedly not putting as much as I could into this, but that's only because of the way that I'm distributing this, or I want to distribute it. It's going to be a 40 card deck for 5 different not archetypes, a 40 card deck for 5 different attributes. So that's one deck per attribute. That's 5 attributes. So uh, 4 times 5 is 20. That's 200 cards, give or take. No, that it'll be 200 cards. So I'm trying not to like I'm trying not to do the thing where it's like there was a word for it. Basically, you just make like a monster and then you make another monster that looks like the other monster, but it's like just slightly different. I'm not trying to do that, so I'm making sure that if I make a monster or a creature, and then I do another creature, and they are supposed to be similar. They have some kind of uniqueness of character. So like there are 2 cards I made earlier called Mermaidens. That's an archetype, Mermaidens. But one is the Dragoness Mermaiden. It's basically like this large snake-like queen of the mermaids thing. She's like the boss monster of the Aqua deck. Lost my voice. She's like the boss monster of the Aqua deck. And then you've got another one called the Graceful Mermaiden, who is like a smaller support creature to help out with the rest of the deck. And she looks she obviously she looks like a mermaid, but she doesn't look like the Dragoness Mermaiden, but just with less stuff. Or the Dragoness Mermaiden doesn't look like the mermaid, but with just more stuff attached to her. They look clearly different. So I'm working on that. Um, there's also the thing of fatigue of working on so many things at one time, which I actually don't have a problem with. I've been like slowly developing a system, and that's what I'm doing for that. So that's pretty good. I am moving on to items and events, which it's kind of that's a little bit more complicated because now I gotta figure out cards that work with the main cards of the game. It, I'll have to look up like for items. That's pretty easy. I can just figure out stuff to put there. But for like backgrounds and for events and stuff, I gotta figure out like backgrounds. I got to figure out certain like action poses in order to make it look, interesting and dynamic. And I'm trying not to delve too much into putting so much effort into the art because if I do, then I'm going to get stuck, doing one piece by one piece for hours and hours on end. And I don't want to, I don't want to do that much just yet. I want to have it to where it's playable, it looks visually good, to like just I just don't want it to look like it's so grand that I have to keep it that way because I know I'm not going to be able to keep up with that. So it's like, okay, it's not the bare minimum, but it's like it's enough to where I feel like if I go any further, it's just going to stress me. So I put it like at this certain point, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. As for the presentations, I don't have anything set down yet, but I do have excuse me. As for presentations, I don't have anything set yet, but I am pretty much working on thumbnails, definitely working on scripting. I need a script because whenever I start to talk off the riff, I start to go off on a tangent and then I can't figure out what I was even starting with to begin with. So, yeah, a script is definitely necessary. Uh, Pictures, I can basically use the images that I'm using to develop the cards. So that's settled. Uh, Explaining the story of the game, the mechanics of the game, uh, basically where I want to see this game going, and not a lot of and then other little odds and ends that I want to try and develop to see how far I can get this game going. But yeah, only six, well, about 7 minutes, and this should be about 8. If I do it right, it should be about a 10-12 minute video. So I gotta think of something else to do. As far as what else do I talk about? I don't really know. What else do I talk about? Um, yeah, you got the anatomy of the cards. You got the let's see, you got the anatomy of the cards. You've got the mechanics of the card. Play style is important. Every attribute will have a unique play style that's not, exclusive to them, but it's like tailor made for them so that each deck plays in a different way so that it's not like, oh, well, they all do the same thing. They just look different. Because, that would be very disappointing to have like so many cards, but then everybody thinks that they all do the same thing. So then I do all that work for nothing. So I'm working really hard to make sure that if you want to play with if you want archetype, I gotta stop saying archetype. If you want to play with this element, it'll be different from that element. Or if you want to sit there and mix the elements together in order to get like a new mixture that's like specific to your ideal of a play style, that'll be a thing. And speaking of archetypes, I'm also going to go in on that because that in itself is like a huge thing that's important because like I said, I'm trying to do research on all kinds of mythology and stuff, and there will be tons of like, well, I guess it technically is an archetype. I should back up on that. So there's archetype, that's the name, and then there's species, which that's also an archetype. That's like putting it in with a list of other creatures that are similar but don't have the same name. Um, so it'll range from like basically from creature species like rodents, which are mouses and rats, lagomorphs, which are bunnies, which there aren't any in the game yet, as of right now. Then you can go to the more mythological stuff like fairies, ogres, giants, orcs, gnomes, uh, ents, which are tree people, mandragore, which those are flower people, well, plant people, but flowers mostly. Um, and then just there's going to be so much of it that there's not even like a set list. It's just, okay, what can I make at this point in time? Yeah, so it's like, okay, what can I make at this point in time? I look at something, I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. And I go, okay, well, these creatures look like they would fit into that. So I will make all like a couple cards based off of like a vampire or a whale or a shark or something like that. So yeah, that's the whole thing I can talk about on some other video as well. But I think I'm passing my mark, so I'm going to end it here. If the video is still going, enjoy it. If not, thank you for watching. I am going to try and do a lot more with this now that I've actually got like the groundwork or the framework for it done. All I have to do now is just make pictures, slap them on cards, and call it a day. So thank you for watching. If you like what you've seen or what you heard, come back. Uh, I'd say come back anytime within the week. I don't have a schedule. It's just, whenever I feel like I can do something. And there will be more to hear, more to see. So until then, see you in the next one.